Hello, welcome to Juice Galaxy 0.2.14. This update brings some new life to the Juiceosphere by introducing a caboodle of breakable boulders in the sky, as well as making some changes to the upper atmosphere, which we'll get to in a bit. So these things spawn randomly, and what's cool about them, besides the amazing shapes, is that they are destructible. You can bash your face into them. You can shoot them with a gun. You can explode them with missile attacks and the tiny sun and stuff. You can hit them with your car. And when you do, you release these creatures and items that were buried within. Also, most of them are hollow. I couldn't really figure out what to put inside of them, so there's nothing for now. There's also nothing on top of them. They're simply destructible masses of juice that you can play around with. They are just barely visible from the overworld. Well, some of them are invisible and some are nice and low, and they make great targets for your grappling plunger. They make it a lot easier to just traverse the world, to get high up. And they're also a great source of juice, items, and monsters. And just a fun way to flip around and do stuff when you're supposed to be doing your homework. Using these crumbly sandcastles in the sky, you can alley-oop yourself to greater heights, larger planetoids, and therefore larger items. However, as you increase your altitude, something begins to change. The sky begins to awaken, wiggling an ancient warning that echoes from the stones. An industrial drone grows within your skull, resonating with growing urgency to return to the ground. Gravity increases exponentially, imposing a sinister weight that tears downwards at your soul. From the void, a gargantuan presence leers down at you, as if mocking your meager attempted defiance. Your grasp on the grappling plunger begins to slip. Finally, clinging to your lifeline with the last of your strength, you reach the zenith of existence, and behold a secret and terrible truth that, if known by any, none have dared to speak. The track you've been hearing is a new one that Stewart Keller made specifically for the upper atmosphere. I reached out and I just said, hey, we need something big, evil, terrifying, ominous, and he came back with this, and I think it fits perfectly for the feeling that I wanted the ceiling to evoke. We released it this week, and there's a link in the description if you want to check it out. Okay, time for a very quick tech rundown. The shape of each planetoid is represented by a 3D grid of density values, which could be called voxels. When a collision occurs, a spherical region of voxels are subtracted from the grid at that point, as if they were destroyed. Then, we use an algorithm called marching cubes to convert the damaged voxel data into a damaged mesh, replacing the old one. You can check the link in the description for a video by Sebastian Lague, who describes marching cubes and other concepts in great detail. In my case, I've actually just copy-pasted Scrawk's marching cubes from GitHub and added my own systems for collision-based voxel destruction, memory pooling, mesh baking, a triplanar UV material, the spawning of stuff, like monsters and items, and a particle system to make it all visually cohesive. I spent most of the last 2 months working on that stuff and just tuning up values to try and make sure everything felt good. I still don't think we're quite there, but it's definitely time to put a pause on this work and start working on some other small stuff.
Yeah, see you next time. Goodbye.